Dig your cleats in.
Line drive, sailing away from Mullins. Oh! An impossible catch. Oh, my goodness.
This is the Hot Corner with Patrick Harris and Joe Fisher.
What did I do wrong? What did I see wrong?
Covering all things baseball, the big leagues, and the MLB to Portland.
And there's another rocket. Mike Trout has tied it up with an absolute bomb to the top of the facade in left center field. Talk about Stanton territory. Trout hammers it, and it's 4-4, 473 feet.
Now, here are your hosts, Patrick Harris and Joe Fisher on 1080 The Fan.
Welcome into the Hot Corner for Must Be a Tuesday, but it's always a Tuesday around these parts. Patrick Harris with you, Joe Fisher to my left.
Let's go.
Oh, boy.
You need a let's go more than anybody.
I was worried your let's go was going to be kind of like a let's go. And I was like, man, your let's go feels like how I feel right now.
No, you need a let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Come on.
Should have got some coffee.
Yeah. Why are you feeling so down?
Boy, I'm wiped. I've been on the
What's wrong
river.
with you?
I've been on the river for the last 5 days. And
Today?
last night, the wife and I.
Did you raft here?
I know. I went to Idaho.
You went down the Snake River and then all the way along the Columbia.
Yeah.
How long of a boat ride would that be?
36-hour ride just to get through Idaho.
Good God.
Just paddling away to get back to Portland.
It's like, why? There's nothing there.
You could be like that guy that sailed from Oregon to
to
Hawaii
with his cat?
But instead paddle boat your way from Moscow to.
That would be a terrible idea.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got like 3 million followers now.
How do you get through the dam if you're on a paddle raft?
Oh, buddy, that would be a pretty epic story.
You know what I mean?
They just open the gate and let you through.
That class 35 rapid.
Yeah.
It stops at 6.
Hell yeah, brother.
No, there's a staircase that you can walk down the side and then just kind of hop back into the water.
You got to carry your boat.
Nope, you got to stay in the canoe.
Well, the river that we raft in Idaho.
take a
Lewis
look
and
at
Clark did go down that river.
Let's take a look at this river. What's the name of this river?
Lochsa.
Saw River.
Lochsa.
I'm seeing that here.
History here on
Lochsa
1080
is Nez Perce for big water.
I lived on Nez Perce Court in Tualatin growing up.
Same thing, Joe.
Yep,
Same
exact
thing.
same
Exact
thing.
same
I
thing.
called myself Chief Joseph.
And Lewis and Clark went down this river, but it was so wild that they carried their canoes alongside of it.
The mighty Lochsa. Oh yeah, I'm looking at pictures right now.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Beautiful country.
Some bros getting thrashed by the waves.
But the best part about my trip is I took the wife to Pullman, Washington last night for the first time ever.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she said the same thing.
Why did
Like,
you
what is
take me
this?
here?
She offered. She was like, let's go to Pullman. I've never been there. I was like, all right.
Well, what you do in Pullman? I have never been to Pullman.
Drank.
Yeah,
That's literally the only thing to do
Yeah,
there.
it's like, yeah, that's all you
seems
can do.
about right.
She was very surprised that it wasn't a bigger city.
Eat canned cheese.
I did pick up some cheese this morning.
some
that
Cougar
good
I
old-
got a
yeah.
fresh can of Cougar Gold and a 5-year-old can of Cougar Gold.
I have never had
You've never had
Cougar
it.
Gold.
Well, Joe, when this can I've got is 5 years old,
You need to pop my Cougar
when
Gold
it gets
cherry.
its 10th birthday, I will pop that cherry with you.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, so
like
you're-
you age it in the
Yeah.
can?
Supposed
Yeah.
to wait. Okay, I didn't even know that actually. I
Yeah.
thought you just eat it right out of it.
You can. I mean, it's totally delicious straight up.
oh,
This is a Cougar Gold from the year
I mean,
2000.
I don't even really like cheddar. Like, I love cheese, but like American cheeses aren't quite my thing. I'm more of a European cheese guy.
real cheese. Yeah.
But the white cheddar made up in old Pullman, Washington at Ferdinand's Creamery. That stuff's pretty hot fire.
Yeah,
It's a white
I'm,
cheddar. It's really, really good.
White cheddar's pretty bomb.
Tempting.
I'm down with it.
I'll take that Pepsi challenge over anything coming out of Wisconsin. I'll tell you that.
I mean, I've seen it at the store, not really knowing like the whole aging thing. But dude, now I'm excited. You got to like throw like a big party with like some aged Cougar cheddar.
and it's
Let's
a
go.
whole wheel too. It's the whole wheel.
You ate a whole wheel of cheese.
That's
Not even
bad.
mad.
That would be a bad
That's
idea.
amazing.
That'd be a super bad idea. But I'm here. I got out of my car and walked, and I felt like 80 years old.
You felt like you were in a boat.
I felt like I was 80 years old.
Driving
My knee
sucks.
hurts. My voice is shot. I
Wait,
turned 40 on Monday. It's like
8 hours
already
in the
kicking
car.
in.
Happy birthday.
Wait, you turned 40 yesterday
No,
or this
this coming
Monday?
Monday.
Ah, nice. I'm gonna have to get you a nice meatloaf or something.
Hey, on my birthday, I'm flying to Vegas.
Which, by the way, you technically
birthday.
do.
I technically do owe you a meatloaf sandwich.
Just meatloaf.
Meatloaf on the air tasting of meatloaf.
But I didn't do enough research to find out where I could just go and pick up a slice of meatloaf.
Let me
from
tell you what,
somewhere.
I was really hoping you'd forget that.
Oh no, I have not forgot. Because it kind of sounds good. Nice warm piece of meatloaf.
But you saw where my thought process was going. Like, look at Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals. Absolute blowout.
Yeah. So what were the 2 games that we were betting on?
It was
about
not
that?
the Celtics Knicks. It was the other 3 games.
It was Celtics Knicks.
No, that game had already happened. And so then it was the other 3 games that I was like, they're going to be blowouts.
I can go back because I feel like I texted you saying that something about you eating that meatloaf, and yeah, I'll have to find. I text you on May 7th. How do you like your meatloaf? And you said F me.
F me. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like meatloaf.
Well, I need to find out where I can get meatloaf like to go.
I
Like,
feel
where can
like-
I get a pickup order of meatloaf?
New Seasons,
here,
baby.
here in Portland. No, we're not doing that deli crap. We need like a restaurant that is known.
Well, I feel like most places, if I can, use my restaurant brain cap here.
I feel like someone said Scavones or something like
I
that.
feel like most places don't have meatloaf at all times. It's like a special.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of diners serve meatloaf. It's one of those go-tos, like as their lunch. They got the club sandwich, and they got the meatloaf always right below it on the menu.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like someone said Scavones has a solid meatloaf.
Scavones? I don't even know what that is.
Actually, close to my girlfriend's house off of Division there on the east side.
You live near everything.
Might
Or
have-
she does, I guess.
Might have to hit up some Scavones for some meatloaf.
I like that Division strip.
Dude, it was popping this weekend. Everybody was out in their grandma. I mean,
Yeah.
it was.
Oh, yeah. How was the town? Anything happen while I was gone? Anything cool?
No, and I was wondering if they got to this in the news, but apparently a big old like safari down in Bandon got busted. And
Really?
And they had to take away like 300 something animals because there was a bunch of meth and guns all over the place.
What?
What an Oregon
First
thing
of
to
all,
happen.
you had me at safari in Bandon.
I thought
Is this
it-
like Bandon, Congo?
No, Bandon, Oregon.
Bandon, Oregon?
Yes.
How's there a safari down there for like what? Deer and bears?
No, dude, I think there was like lions and crocs.
Yeah,
Yes.
they imported the good stuff.
Yeah, 300 plus animals seized, 3 euthanized. I didn't read that part. Following
They're
search
dangerous.
of Oregon Coast Safari Park. I thought they were talking about the one in Winston, but that's not really the coast. The wildlife safari.
So
down
they
there.
brought in a safari?
No, this was it's called the West Coast Game Park Safari in Bandon. And police say 310 total animals were seized and relocated to sanctuary and rescue facilities.
That's super strange.
They say a chicken and a kinkajou were euthanized due to their poor physical condition.
Pikachu?
I did meet some dudes.
Yes.
I did meet some dudes at the resort. I stopped to get some ice while we were up on the river, and they had all their camo on, and they were hunting bear.
Oh, good for them.
And I was
that's
like-
good eats.
I was like, "Oh man, why you hunting bear?" He was like, "Cause it tastes good."
Have you ever had that sliced
Okay.
thin on
He's
a
like,
Ritz?
"We're from Wenatchee, and they don't let us do the pre-spring. Plus, you can bait out here. It's awesome."
Yeah, I gotta
I
find.
was like, "I've never shot a gun in my life. I would never kill an animal. You are a terrible human being." No, they were very nice guys.
yeah, drugs, guns, 1.6 mil found during Oregon raid of Oregon
in
Game Park.
cash or in drugs?
God.
I'm guessing in cash.
Man, if I
yep,
find
in,
one-
in cash and bonds and a dozen firearms.
I'll
They
tell
had
you what, if I
bonds? My
find
God.
1.6 million in a bust, like I definitely only found 0.6
Thank
million.
you. That's I
know?
mean, you got body cams
Like
nowadays.
what? Like
though.
what's that number actually? Like was it 1.8 and you just kind of
You-
skimmed off the top a little 200K?
Oh, for sure.
No, if-
Faux show,
if all their
dude.
body cams had like a black spot when they arrived to the crime scene, sure, but you can't get away with it now.
I don't know, man. At some point, that body cam's got to turn off, right?
Yeah, they found meth there also.
See, meth and animals just don't sound like a good fit,
Well, that was the whole point.
especially safari animals.
That was basically the whole point of a Netflix documentary called what is it?
Tiger King?
Yeah, Tiger
Oh,
King.
I never watched that.
Oh,
Wasn't that the biggest show during COVID? I never watched it.
You need to.
I had
sit-
like no interest in it.
No, you should sit for an evening with your wife, get really drunk, and watch it.
Yeah,
I
it's-
think you're missing out.
There's a bunch of characters in there that are just like you are right at a central casting.
Oh,
for
the
this.
thing I'm gonna drink and show my wife for the first time because she's never seen is the Chappelle Show.
Oh,
Like I've got that in my back pocket.
dude, the fact that she has not seen that Wow, she's in for a treat. Just episode 1 with Clayton Bigsby,
I've always
the
wanted
black-white supremacist.
I've always wanted to say this for shizzle. Tiger Woods gets drafted by the black community in the racial draft.
That's
No,
what.
the Asians or the black community. Which one will it be? Yeah.
The Asians select the Wu-Tang Clan.
That's what I love about that
ODB's
show.
name is going to change to Old Dirty Chinese Restaurant. It's so good.
That's what I love about that show is the very first episode was
stink, and I hate 'em.
was the black-white supremacist Clayton Bigsby. It's like they came out right away and they're like, "This is what you're going to get for the next 2 seasons, just so you're aware." And people loved it. People loved every second of it. Congus Legus rice sounds like a Mexican dish. Dude, it's so good.
So good.
And
you know,
so
every
terrible.
time you watch The Real World, there's always 5 of the craziest white people and 1 black person. Well, what if we found 5 of the craziest black people and put them around 1 normal white person?
Mad real.
Cognac.
I made a Chappelle Show reference yesterday.
Yeah?
He once rolled 77 sevens in a row. The World Series of Dice.
Now that you got your restitution, are you going to quit your job as a truck driver? Hell no, I bought this cold cash. I'm rich.
This is full of cigarettes.
A cool cigarette truck. Ashy Larry, Charlie Murphy. Man, that show's so good.
Well, I pray for the animals over there in Bandon and that they find a new home. 1 modified machine gun, 8 grams of cocaine.
I want to know how it was
Dude,
modified.
this place is awesome.
I mean, 6 grams of cocaine.
Wait, 5? Man.
In fact, we didn't find cocaine at all.
This place was open since the 60s.
That's wild, dude.
How about that?
That's wild.
What a run.
Oakley Dokley. Well, we do got a baseball show for you tonight. There's a lot to get to. We'll have fair or foul at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour like we always do. Also, at the top of the 8 o'clock hour, we'll take a peek at teams that are under 500 that could sneak a run into the playoffs and potentially win it all. So we'll take a peek around the league with that. But we start with more drama in Beantown. This is the Hot Corner. Portland sports leader, 1080 The Fan.
The definitive podcast for Oregon. This is the Hot Corner with Patrick Harris and Joe Fisher on the Odyssey app and 1080 The Fan.
Just a reminder, fans, about Die Hard Night coming up here at the stadium. Free admission to anyone who was actually alive the last time the Indians won a pennant.
7:16, Portland sports leader here. Don't you forget it. We are live. We'll do it live. Shadows of the historic Fremont Bridge, 503-864-6326. That is the fan text line. She'll let you interact with us throughout the entire show. Still a girl.
Still a she.
Still a she.
She's a beautiful one.
The mighty
The mighty
vessel that
text line.
is
Only
the
you
text line.
can prevent wildfires.
that you listener, you advertiser out there could sponsor.
You could sponsor that.
Hell yeah.
Give me a call.
Email
Or
joe.fisher.
and prepare to give me $5,000 a month. Actually, I don't know how much it costs. I should probably find that out.
You should know that, Joe.
Yeah,
It's
no
your
kidding.
job.
Yeah. Hey, we got a lot of S to sell, all right? Do you realize we have 6 other stations?
I do. I do understand the validity and the grind that is your job.
Oh my God, the Knicks are just everything looks so difficult for them.
I
Like,
think they
they're-
make it difficult on themselves.
I don't
Like
know.
we were talking about this before the show. Yes, Indiana is playing great basketball.
They,
Great team
they
basketball.
own their ass.
But I mean, I just think the Knicks are just a bunch of hustle dudes, you know? And so
Oh no, the Pacers are the hustle.
I was gonna say the Pacers out hustle the Knicks, and they've got more talent overall.
but that's why I think it looks so hard for the Knicks because I feel like all they can do is hustle and they're being out hustled, so they have nothing else to do.
I don't know, man. The Pacers just look like
My Pacers.
absolute animals. They just it's Neesmith is just every possession just inside Brunson. He is inside the man.
I know it's been
There
days.
should be criminal charges put forth.
I know it's been days and I'm late to the party, but the last thing I saw before I left the land of service and the land of the living was Hallie hit that shot. And when he pointed at Spike, I was losing my mind.
He was pointing at Reggie.
Oh, he was pointing at Reggie?
Yeah,
Oof.
he went pointing at Reggie, who was on the call.
I was losing my mind because Reggie's my favorite player of all time. I hate the Knicks. Yeah, I love it.
You'll be happy here in a couple days because this series is probably over.
Yeah, I don't like their chances against OKC, though.
I mean, I know it's only a 12-point game.
But it'll be the Paul George final. It'll be excellent. Look at us. We both had Paul George. We got rid of Paul George, and now we're in the finals.
Yeah, that is true.
It'll be great. It'll be great. Okay, so over the weekend, the Boston Red Sox, boss man Cooley, his team, his beloved team, I'm sorry to rail on them 2 weeks in a row, boss. So if you're out there, mass apologies to you. Alex Bregman goes down with an injury, hamstring. Sounds like he's going to be out for a little bit. And I don't know if this could have happened at a worst possible time because you can't put Rafi Devers at third. Right?
Well,
and so I feel like this.
You just for some reason continuously choose not to, and just almost like piss him off.
You're like gaslighting your best player.
Well, even then, it's like Bregman goes down, and Devers like, all right,
back,
goes to grab his glove,
yeah,
and
back to my spot.
And they're like,
biatch.
no, we still want you at DH. He's like, what the F is going on?
We're gonna call up a 21-year-old kid instead. How about that? Who doesn't even play third base?
God. Yeah, I think that. Well, granted, that guy that they called up had a pretty good.
Marcelo Mayer. I've got him in a fantasy league.
Pretty good
I've got
start.
him in a
you
keeper
were on
league.
him already.
I had him in a keeper league. I've had him for 2 years in a keeper league.
Yeah, he did pretty good against the Orioles the other day.
But I think we kind of talked about this last week with the Orioles. I think this is the white flag for Boston. This might be the last time we talk about them on this show. I think they're in big trouble here because this Devers situation won't go away. For some reason, he's not even involved in what happened in Bregman going down, yet his weirdness and how they're dealing with him is still shining so bright on that team that I don't know if they get out of it.
Yeah, and it's.
I would just call up all the kids. Roman Anthony, Mayer, you got Campbell in the outfield still. Just call them all up.
Well, it just seems like their consistency as a team overall, like, is just.
I saw Garrett Crochet threw a gem the other day and they lost. Like,
Yeah,
you
and
can't do that.
He's the only one that's given him a whole lot.
You
pitching wise,
can't do that.
Welcome to being a Mariners fan,
Yeah,
sir.
this I know. I watched that for a long
Felix
time.
Hernandez's career wasted.
Walker Buehler and Sean Newcomb have been all right, but like Tanner Houck, for after what he did last year, has been a shell of himself. This team is just inconsistent, and that is not going to cut it in the American League East when you're going up against the Yankees and then the Rays, who have been a hell of a lot better as of late. And really, like it kind of seems like there is sort of this, because the American League there's so much parity. It does almost seem like there's a tier 1 and then a tier 2 and then the Orioles and White Sox.
It feels like a tier 1, a tier 3, and then the Orioles and the White Sox.
Yeah.
Like there's no middle ground.
So it's just
But
like,
we'll talk about the middle ground in the 8 o'clock hour.
and Bregman was playing really well, better than the start of the season. And yeah, I just feel like also like you could have had a little bit more normalcy if you were just like, all right, let's throw Devers back at third and try and like restore the clubhouse order in a sense. But yeah, I think this just pisses off Devers even more. It's like, dude, this was the guy that replaced me at third, and now that he's out, like I still can't play third.
And I think the scariest thing about this whole situation is Bregman's going to opt out. I mean, he's going to opt out anyway because he's going to want more money because he only signed that 3-year deal, which is like lucrative incentive wise, but he has opt outs after every single year. Like he's going to opt out because he wants more money, but I also think he's going to opt out because he's not going to want to be there.
But that cracker box sure as hell's making him look better.
Without a doubt. We knew he was going to rake at Fenway.
And
we knew he was going to rake at Fenway.
That helps you. It's hard to leave that kind of thing.
And Newcomb, I forgot about this. He was actually traded to the Athletics either today or yesterday or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for cash.
Ooh, the A's are loading up, huh?
Well,
my Oakland Athletics, my West Sacramento Athletics.
Well, they need to load up on wins because they are not doing that. As
I know,
late.
dude. That's going to go the wrong way. Oh, we're sidetracked here.
What the hell?
We're sidetracked. I think this is going to be a big problem, and we are now at a point that do you start looking at trading Devers? Do you look at trading Bregman?
No, you're not going to trade Bregman because you just picked him up. I mean, this offense is pretty decent. But the pitching and then like also they've had some fielding errors this year, which
Trevor's story is completely done. Yeah, how they trot him out every single day is beyond me.
And like I said,
he was an elite defender, and now he can't even defend.
It's just the consistency of this team kills me, man. It's just like for 1 week they'll be like, "Hey, this Red Sox team are they good?" And then you'll go another week and you're like, "Oh, this Red Sox team is not very good."
And I think that's the reality.
And they just go back and forth, and it's just. They're lacking the consistency. Their pitching needs to be better outside of Crochet, and I don't know where they're going to do that.
That's why I think I would just punt on the whole situation because you're sitting there.
What's Devers? He's in what, like year 3 of his contract,
something like that, and it's a lot of money.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
I think he's over 30 mil.
Well, that's where I'm like, all right, is there a team that is just? Is there a front office? Is there some analytics bros somewhere of a team that are just so high on him that they're like saying like pick up the phone and you continue to call the Red Sox until they finally say yes?
They give up a ton of runs.
Yes.
They are third.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Third in the American League.
Actually, I want to look this up.
And this was behind the third year of his deal.
And the Angels.
This is the third year?
Third year, $27 million.
Oh, I guess they're fourth, excuse me.
27
mil?
27 mil?
That actually might be a deal.
I mean,
but Yoshida's contract is unmovable.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate because I really liked him. And, now in hindsight, I don't blame for Dipoto not wanting to take on that contract. Remember we were talking Luis Castillo to the Red Sox for Tristan Casas?
Well, yeah, now, in hindsight, Casas is down.
But they would have made the Mariners take Yoshida, and I think that's what it is. So you've got this Devers situation that seems to never be going away, that you are like the Knicks in this. We're shooting yourself in the foot on it every single time. And now, Bregman, who's your most accountable player you have, obviously the Cora Houston tie, which is probably a big reason why he's there. When he goes down, it's like this thing just becomes a giant mess.
Well, and I was going to say this, and I stopped myself, and I should have gone forward with it. But
just do it, Joe.
I was going to say, I was like, man, the Red Sox, I wouldn't be surprised if they lead the league in errors. They're second in errors behind the Colorado Rockies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, again, they're just...
And that's weird.
I mean, that's how the Orioles stole a game from them the other day. It was because of throwing errors, and it's just like, dude, you get
And that's weird because Alex Cora played his entire career because he could play defense. He could never hit.
This team ain't good.
I think that's the reality. I think every year we get soaked up by some of these major market teams, like, for example, San Francisco got off to a really hot start. Now I think they're the real deal, but we always kind of, Giants could be pretty good this year. And then they kind of become who they actually are. And I think we've been doing that with the Red Sox pretty much every year since 2018.
Well, and again, last year their pitching was way better than anticipated.
Yes.
And maybe this is just...
And they kind of hung around longer. Remember, I wrote them off in April. I was like, this team's garbage.
And maybe this is a regression to the mean hear from them.
Well, they've also kept getting hurt. I mean, seriously, what are we now? A third of the way into the season, pretty much officially. And if at this point you're sitting fourth in the AL East, you've got 4 guys down because of injury. You can't just keep going to dig. It's not like there's pitchers out there still like that
The
you
well
can go
is pretty
get.
shallow.
Yeah, as opposed to like hitters, which there's literally nobody besides JD Martinez. So what are you going to do? Call the season off, maybe say, okay, let's spend some time on some developmental stuff. Is it Cora's fault? I don't know, man. With every guy going down like the next week, it's hard to keep any kind of consistent attitude in the clubhouse, right?
Dear God. I forgot what Trevor Story's contract was.
Oh, it's gross.
6 years, $140 million. That was signed ahead of the 2022 season. Missed 68 games in 2022. Missed 119 games in 2023. Missed 136 in 2024.
Well, in
And then-
2024, it was like the first game he dove for a ball and dislocated his shoulder.
That's right. And then 2025, obviously, this year, he has appeared in 51 of 56 games. He has an OPS of 589.
That's gross. I think I can honestly, confidently, comfortably say, unless there's a trade that goes down, this might be the last time we talk about the Red Sox.
Trevor's Story hasn't been good since his first week of baseball. Do we remember that? He had like 6 home runs in his first 7 career games. Everybody's like, this guy's going to be the next best.
Trevor Story was
shortstop.
never good outside of Colorado.
Again, outside of his first week.
Garbage. You suck.
Yeah, it's again, man, and once his team just gets more consistency, if I mean, at least they have Crochet locked up for the future.
Yeah.
So you have your ace, and he has been Cy Young level this year.
Yeah, he's been great. But again, they're losing those games. That's why I think this team is done.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to say goodbye.
Yep, this very well could be the end. Much to your chagrin, I know that there's someone on the text line that always likes to chime in when we're talking down on the Red Sox, and so I think this is him on the text line right now.
There we go.
Bottom line is they've lost 13 one-run games. That's a killer, but also it'll even out. Their pitching staff is very injured. Haven't seen a healthy staff yet. Patrick, if there's a Pale on Devers, it's not showing on the field. He was a laughingstock to start the season. Now leads the league in RBI. So yeah.
Does he lead the league? I thought Riley Green did.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, like, didn't Devers have like an 8 RBI game the other
That is
day
true.
or something
That is
like
I thought
that?
like it was 2 Cubbies on the top of the RBI.
I don't know.
leaderboards.
Maybe I am too harsh on the Red Sox, but they're a little bit of low-hanging fruit. They're a major market team. They spend
Oh, yeah.
a gajillion dollars.
He had 8 RBIs against my Orioles in a 19-5 win.
He is third to Pete Crow Armstrong and Seiya Suzuki. So yeah,
Ooh.
2 Cubbies.
Ooh,
So leads the American League.
Exactly.
sexy.
Leads A League.
PCA, huh? Yeah. That kid came out of nowhere. All right, when we come back, I mentioned Riley Green. We need to talk about the Tigers. Are the Tigers the best team in baseball, and do you know what a Maddox is? We'll get to that next, but first, we'll throw it to Schultz with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, the NBA playoffs continuing tonight. The Pacers looking to take a 3-1 series lead in Game 4 against the Knicks. About 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and Indiana does lead that one 115-105. Tyrese Halliburton leading all scorers with 30 points. Pascal Siakam having a game as well. Couple of threes and 24 points so far. In the third period over on the ice, it's Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. Edmonton hosting Dallas. About 8 minutes to go in the game there. They still lead that. Edmonton does 2-1. Breaking news out of college football this evening. Some bad news for the Ducks. Oregon 5-star defensive end recruit Richard Wesley decommitting from the program. The high school senior ranks among the top prospects in the 2027 class. And in baseball, the first place Mariners back at T-Mobile Park hosting the Washington Nationals. It's Game 1 of a 3-game set going into the top of the fourth. Mariners do lead that 3-1 thanks to back-to-back jacks from Julio Rodriguez and Cal Raleigh. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schultze from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan Merch Locker has a new black 1080 The Fan hoodie, as well as classic long and short sleeve tees. Get yours now at 1080thefan.com.
Do you owe
This is the Hot Corner with Harrison Fisher on the Odyssey app and 1080 The Fan.
Ball 4. Ball 8. Low, and Vaughn has walked the bases loaded on 12 straight pitches. Boy, how can these guys lay off pitches that close?
Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we'll dive into some teams that are under 500 and who of them, 500 or below, who of them could make a run plus fair or foul at the bottom of the hour. We might get to some Shohei talk.
Show who?
Today, Shohei.
Show who?
Ohtani. We got, checking in on old pitchers. I want to check in on old pitchers at some time. I think of them as like the big three.
Like your
Scherzer,
like your
Verlander.
DeGrom that didn't register a single K the other day.
What a loser.
Sucks.
Scherzer, Verlander, and DeGrom. I'd like to check in on those guys at some point. We'll see. We got a lot to get to today. But the biggest thing that kind of happened over the weekend outside of this Bregman news is Tarek Skubal.
Dude.
Threw less than 100 pitches, complete game shutout, 13 strikeouts, and 0 free passes.
Throwing it back, making the old baseball fan happy. That's what starting pitchers used to do.
Dude,
back when men were men.
That gets my pants really tight.
Dude, it got me pretty hot as well.
Yeah, he threw a Maddox, and that's really, really hard to do.
I saw that, and I grabbed my girlfriend. I'm like, we are going upstairs right now.
It's really hard to throw a complete game under 100 pitches. And to get 13 Ks and 0 walks, I'd like to know the last time somebody threw a complete game and had 10 Ks and no walks.
What's the game score on that?
What's his plus minus out on the field?
Well, and not only that, to end the game on a 102.6 mile per hour pitch.
That's insane.
Like
it's the fastest pitch recorded by a starter.
I think that's what I saw. Yeah.
I think that's what they say, like a true starter, minimum starts or something.
Yeah, we gotta take a look at this Tarek Skubal line and see how it compares to some of the more recent outings.
It came at the right time too, because I just finished watching this Maddox documentary on MLB Network. Absolutely fascinating.
Apparently, it is just referred to as a Maddox. I had no idea.
Yep, under 100 pitches in a complete game is a Maddox because he did it like 25 times in his career.
How can someone do that, and then now nobody can do that, apparently?
Well, Ropp and I talked about this a little bit, a couple weeks ago on Primetime, that, to continue to be good at something, you need to continuously do it. And that might be the problem that Major League, I might be opening a can of worms here, but that might be the problem that Major League Baseball's kind of run into right now, is they're so conservative with starters. It's like, you get me 5 and you're out and I'm going to the bullpen. And it's done as an advantage, and I see the theory. I completely understand the strategy, but it is also not stretching pitchers out. Like if you want to be a great golfer, Joe, do you go out and only do 13 holes? No, you do all 18.
The last couple rounds I should have quit at 13.
But you know what I mean? You can't get better at golf if you're only doing 13 holes. You got to do the whole 18. So
this is the most ever strikeouts for a Maddox, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How many Maddoxes have there been? You got Maddox stats?
I don't know. Skubal's 13 strikeouts are the most ever by a pitcher in a Maddox, passing the previous mark of 12 shared by Cookie Carrasco, 2014.
That's my boy.
Cliff Lee, 2011.
Oh, that's my boy, too.
And Sandy Koufax, 1964.
Bum. I never heard of that guy.
Didn't wear a Cleveland jersey.
Didn't wear a Cleveland jersey, don't care. Cliff Lee, man. Ooh, he was good.
He wasn't bad. No. Dude, maybe this is, I don't know. Maybe he is just one of a kind. I texted you today, is he the best pitcher in baseball? And when he's, obviously it's, recency bias when you see a line like this, like best pitcher in baseball.
Right. But I think the answer is yes. He won a Cy Young last year. So let's talk about who could be the competition. Yoshi's having a great year.
Yeah. And
Max Fried is the hammer of my fantasy team right now. I know Ropp's all over Yoshi. I'm all over Max Fried. And then there's Skeens out there who's still pitching well. Crochet, as we were talked about last. But I think the answer, I love the boys in Seattle still. Gilbert and Kirby, they're not going anywhere. But I think the answer is Skubal. I think it has to be.
Because we see one-off Cy Young years
Totally.
all the time.
Ubaldo.
Yeah.
First one that comes to our mind.
So it's who was R.A. Dickey.
R.A. Dickey throws a knuckleball. Won himself a Cy Young.
Love R.A. Dickey.
So to see when someone has a Cy Young season like Skubal did last year and then backs it up with another great season in a performance like this, like you want to see that longevity, and as long as he continues to do it, like right now, he is the best pitcher in baseball.
I also think it helps that, I mean, his team is really exciting. They're kind of young. They're kind of flashy. A.J. Hinch, for as much grief as he deserves for his actions or no actions in Houston, he's a damn good manager. And I think he knows that Skubal is not a guy to throw 5 innings and pull. You got to let the beast go. Jack Flaherty, you might pull him after 5. If he's dealing, you might let him go 6 or 7. But I think it really benefits Skubal that he had playoff experience last year, won a trophy last year, and this team is really good, maybe the best team in baseball.
Also, just looking at his career line, never pitched a complete game, never had a shutout before. So I think even at a certain point in that game, there might have been talks in the clubhouse or in the bullpen about what he was doing. And Hinch is like he's never thrown a complete, no shutout.
No.
Ever? Like, all right, let's just keep riding this. And again, the pitch count was good enough to where it's like, dude, he's gonna. You
get done with the 8th. And you're in the 80s of pitching.
Yeah, it's like, dude, we're still rolling with
You're
this.
going back out there.
Well, and there's too many managers, too, in this league that would just go with the analytics and, we're halfway through the third time in the lineup.
And that's kind of what I mean. Like, that's the strategy, and I get the strategy.
I hate that. No, I don't.
I completely understand it, but it kind of reminds me of, like, when you're up by 3 at the end of the game and you foul so they can't get a 3-point shot. It's a great strategy. I just think it's kind of bush.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of...
Anthony Towns hurt his knee real bad.
It's been injured since last game.
He is not happy.
He was grabbing it at the end of the last game, and he was grabbing it at the beginning of this one. So.
Like you said, it looks so hard for them.
Dude, it's just everything.
Some of those situations call for just the feel of the game, right? It's not necessarily about the strategy itself, but it's about knowing how and when to implement it.
And
I think the manager, what they do
I think
best.
that's why a guy like A.J. Hinch is so great, because he's got, the Snitker and Melvin in him of the old school, but he's also got, the Craig Counsell of the new school. And I think that's what makes him such a great manager. And I think that's why the Tigers sit here with the best record in baseball still, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You have to excuse my ignorance,
leave.
guys. I've been off the grid for
you're good.
For a while.
36,
I would
yeah.
I would think too, as far as complete games go this season, I bet you we have had less than 5 so far to start the year.
Yeah, I know Nathan Eovaldi threw 1. I know Skubal threw 1.
I mean, I at first was going to say less than 3, but I was like, that's pretty low. We got to have at least less than 5. But honestly, when you think about it,
it's a dead stat. I mean, it's a dead stat. I mean, wins are more dead than that. But the quality start is, the best litmus test. And I don't mean to keep bringing up fantasy, but that's what you notice in fantasy. Like, we got rid of wins years ago, and we play with quality starts, and they are so hard to come by these days that if quality starts are hard to come by, complete games are going to be even more difficult.
All right, I got a list of all the complete games. We got Skubal from the other day, Stephen Kolek for the Padres on the 10th of May, so that's 2. Eric Fetty on the 9th of May, that's 3. Michael King on April 13th.
Oh, that's right. I remember Michael King.
That's 4. And then Nathan Eovaldi on April 1st. No jokes there. So there are 5 exactly.
There are 5.
Yeah.
That was opening day for him.
I'm seeing, May 17th or 18th, Paul Skeens threw his first complete game, but he lost.
No.
So the Pirates, because they suck, gave Skeens a 1-0 loss because
Randy Johnson.
Maybe he went 8 innings? I don't know. Maybe my math and baseball.
Yeah,
it
like
was
8
Citizens
on the road.
Bank
Yeah,
Park.
I don't
So
know.
Citizens Bank Park would be where they play in Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, they're on.
No,
Citizens Bank's in Philly.
Yeah.
Well, they can't call it a complete. See, that's stupid.
Yeah, because he didn't pitch 9 innings.
Yeah.
Then the baseball reporter then sucks because I'm literally looking at a headline that says first complete game thrown.
Yeah, his first career complete game in an 8-inning 1-0 loss to. Yeah, see, that doesn't. I don't.
Hey, Alex Stump, thanks.
I don't think
that's wrong.
Does a complete game count if you go 8 innings, but you don't see the 9th because your team gets walked off.
It sure doesn't because you didn't play in the 9th.
But I thought technically it was the game, so it is by asterisk definition
We're not
a
walked
complete
off.
game.
Yeah, now I'm confused.
No, you're not walked off. It's because they had the lead, so you didn't pitch in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Exactly. You didn't have to.
Yes.
Yeah. So you didn't pitch a whole game. Sorry, man.
It's not his
Them's
fault
the
his
rules.
offense
I
sucks.
don't make them up. I just enforce them and find a way to make them make sense. They don't always make sense, but sometimes they do.
Well,
Sometimes they don't.
Those damn Pirates are pretty good, and Tarek Skubal is still really good, regardless of what season it is.
I think the Tigers are great. I regret my Cleveland bet at A instantly. I think that team is really good. Riley Green had a slow start, but he's really bringing it up right now. Spencer Torkelson's back from the grave. This team's good. If they had Alex Bregman, they would be even better. I'm going to bang on that drum the whole time. Alex Bregman should have signed in Detroit.
Well, I am intrigued to see what happens, maybe not in the top of the AL Central, but the rest of the AL Central sans the Chicago White Sox, because you have the Twins, Guardians, Royals all separated by 2 games, and they will definitely be jockeying for a wild card spot. If not 1, 2, maybe all 3. Just like last year? No, the Twins did not make the playoffs
They did
last
not.
year. So the 3...
The 3 were Cleveland, Detroit, and KC.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. KC ran into the Yanks. Tigers, Cleveland was a great series.
Well, Cleveland won the division. Kansas City and Detroit were
the
wild cards, and I'm trying to remember who
and Detroit played Cleveland in the first round, and Kansas City played the Yankees.
Well, I'm literally on the page. Oh, yeah, my Orioles won the other
Well, Kansas City
wild card
played
spot.
the Orioles,
Yeah.
and then they played the Yankees.
All right, let's forget about that. Let's get off this subject.
All right, when we come back, there's a couple guys making their returns, but in different ways, and they are 2 of the 3 most phenomenal athletes and must-watch baseball. We'll get to that next. The Hot Corner, 1080 The Fan.
Check out the Fan Merch Locker.
There's a lot of people. It's like Woodstock, except everybody's got their clothes.
It's always baseball season. This is the Hot Corner with Harrison Fisher on 1080 The Fan.
you fell.
I don't know if I'm going to be putting on this headset again.
Remember Tom Brenneman? I kind of miss Tom Brenneman.
Do I? What a call he had last year on the C-Dub.
I love Thom.
He did call a Wazoo game.
He was actually the old announcer on the All-Star Baseball video games in like 04, 05 with Derek Jeets on the cover.
Was his mic hot during that too?
No
This is in
swear.
Kansas City.
No swear words or slurs there, but definitely ingrained himself into my childhood. So I wish I heard him more on the air than just CW football.
Breaking news here. Not really breaking news. The Pacers are going to go up 3-1 back to New York. And I think it's safe to say this series is over.
Well,
Knicks don't look good, man.
Dude,
you said it, Joe. Like, you've said it the best. Everything looks so hard for them.
Yes, it's just like everything they have to do, every bucket on offense they have to get looks like they're just scraping and clawing and just fighting for everything. And then the Pacers inbound it, and then it's like 5 seconds down the court, 3, good.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, that seemed really easy for them. Like it's a very bizarre it's been a bizarre series because the first couple of games were close. We obviously had to come back by the Pacers.
I love that Triple H just dapped up Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
Time to play the game.
I swear to God, that'll stop your heart.
I love Triple H.
It's all about the game.
They say Triple H is a top 5 wrestler of all time. Like in terms of like
technicality.
Yeah, like how you wrestle. Like he sold everybody. He was great on the mic. Ultimate heel for the longest time. Like, remember when The Rock and Stone Cold were at their height?
Oh,
Triple H was the champ.
Yeah, and he was the heel.
And he was the heel, and
played that
everyone
role.
hated him.
I feel like he never code switched. He was never the what do they call it? The face.
Yeah,
yeah. Like never once do I ever remember him being like.
Well, he was
except when he came back from his injury.
Well, he was a
people were
face with
stoked.
DX. Because they were fun.
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
I mean, they were bad boys, but he was a
Yes.
face with DX.
That
But
is
after
true.
DX disbanded, he became the ultimate heel and then eventually just stopped being a heel because as he got older, people were just, you're right, he got hurt. He had his...
Torn his quad.
He tore his quad completely off the bone.
Tasty.
And then when he came back, everybody lost their mind. Yeah, dude, I think he's top 5. I think it's like him, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, and
Viscera.
And probably Seth Rollins, honestly.
Do you not like my Viscera reference there?
I don't like Viscera. I hated that whole thing. I hated that whole shebang. Although it did give me the Hardy Boys.
What about Gangrel?
No, I hate that whole thing. But it
The Brood?
But it gave me the Hardy Boys, so I'm cool with that.
You don't like the
Or
Brood?
no, not the Hardy Boys. Sorry, they gave us Edge and Christian.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Edge,
The
dude.
Brood. Gangrel with the wine, he'd spit it everywhere. If you're in the front row, you're like, what the hell,
Is this
man?
blood?
I don't know. I don't care what this is. This is disgusting. Was in your mouth?
Dude, Edge, I saw him on
He's great. They always say he was a great one,
Well,
too.
he's doing the AEW
Yeah.
stuff now, and he looks like he's about to die.
Because he is about to die. His back is so jacked.
Give it up, man.
Give it up. Well, we got a couple guys coming back in the MLB, and I can't be more excited for this, for very different reasons. We'll start. Shohei looks like he could be on the mound sometime soon.
Oh, that guy returning.
Shohei,
like I guess, is he a Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde?
Which one's which?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Which one is Mr. Hyde, aka is that the batting?
Gotta be. The
And then-
doctor is the professor who has to pitch.
Well, yeah, which one's the bad one? I'm trying to remember.
I think Hyde's the bad one.
No, yeah, Mister. Mister's
Yeah,
the bad one.
Hyde's
Thank
the
you.
bad one.
I always had to remember like Doctor or Mister.
Yeah.
I
don't know, but either one you want to place on whatever, he's going to be pitching here soon.
And I heard some blowhard say they don't even need him right now. They don't even need him till September. Well, I don't know. Like that texter who talked about the Red Sox pitching staff being injured, I give you the Los Angeles Doyers. Blake Snell, not pitching. Like, that's huge. Tyler Glasnow, also huge. Not pitching. Old man Kershaw's coming into the rescue. Like, that ain't good. Gonsolin looked good, okay with that for a moment. I don't know if Shohei's going to start. I don't know if they're going to power, use him like an Andrew Miller type situation, run him out there in the 6th when you really need to stop. But I'm excited to see him get back on the mound. Did you see all his teammates like filming and he threw some nasty slider and
yes,
there's Kike in the background just jaw dropped. Like,
Yes.
I'm excited for him to come back. I think it's going to be fun.
Dustin May wasn't too bad, much to
Buck's chagrin.
Buckley's dismay there. But
I've never heard somebody hate somebody's for no reason more than Buck hated May today.
Well, it was gambling purposes.
Oh, I know why, because he's a degenerate now.
Big Bets Buckley. That's what I call him.
Big Bets Buckley.
He's coming for Will's crown.
We should have Buck and Will fight it out.
Yes.
Who
can place the bigger parlay?
Who can lose more money? My money's probably on Will. I think Will loses a lot of money.
Dude,
my good buddy Will Ordner.
That pitch.
He has small units though, so I don't know.
The pitch that you're referencing though the other day in the simulated inning or whatever. Oh my God.
It was nasty.
Yes.
I've never seen anything like that.
Dude, I threw up.
I peed my pants.
I vomited on the spot.
If peeing your pants is cool, then I'm Miles Davis.
Yeah, it's and just whenever I'm like out, I'm like, dude, just let Shohei hit. Like he's gonna get you possibly 60 bombs.
I know, we were
this year.
texting about this today. He's on pace for 58.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
You gonna go 60-60, amigo?
Well, that's the other thing that's just amazing about him is like you texted it. I knew what you wanted to talk about was his pitching, and then I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, we should maybe talk about how he's on pace for possibly 60 home runs.
By the way,
this year
it's not
too.
June, and he has almost 20 home runs.
No, he has 20.
Oh, does he have
now.
20
he
now?
He hit his
Again,
20th
sorry,
today.
apologies on the delay.
That's why I was saying he's on pace for like 59 home runs mathematically right now. But
it's so great. Speaking of great, flip side, the MVP before Shohei Ohtani, that would be one Ronald Acuna Jr.
Oh boy.
And I get scared all the time when I think about Acuna. I'm worried he's Trout 2.0, but a lot earlier in his career. But when he plays, he's must-watch TV for me.
And
And that team needs that energy.
Just in time for my Braves.
Your Braves.
To storm back and maybe not win the division, but get a wild card spot.
Totally. This team.
Strider's back. I forgot
Strider's
what he
back.
did today.
Schwellenbach is pitching well. He had a bad outing a couple weeks ago, but I believe he threw a good game the other day.
Strider was decent today, 4 2/3 with 7 strikeouts.
He's coming back from Tommy John.
Yeah, third start of the season, but second and.
But they need some kind of energy shot into that team. Albies is a disaster right now. Not playing well at all. Michael Harris as well is kind of a disaster. So if you can get Acuna in and bat him leadoff, maybe you think about moving Ozuna up to the 2-hole. I don't know. Moral of the story is I hope he's healthy, and I love watching him play baseball.
Yeah, I mean, again, seeing him
he's
hit
like Fernando Tatis. They just got the flair, They got the machismo.
Seeing him hit the home run yesterday, that was awesome. It was just like,
welcome
dude,
back.
Yes, it
Good
was
to see
just
you,
like,
bud.
dude, right, much deserved after tearing your knee, like being out all that time. And it's funny, it's like the Braves now are, instead of losing everybody on their team, they're getting players back now.
Well, it's the best free agency you can have is guys getting healthy.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I hope this is, you're right.
At least that's what DePoto taught me.
I hope that getting those two guys back, Acuna and Strider, injects something into this the life in the clubhouse because they need it. They're still below 500, and they're going to be fighting for a playoff spot. And we're going to get into it probably in the second hour here as far as teams that are out of the race who we still believe in, foreshadowing there. But
professional tease.
Getting those two guys back, especially Acuna, to hopefully just jolt some life into this lineup. That's huge.
The bones of this team are absolutely fantastic. Is Matt Olson Freddie Freeman? No, but Matt Olson is pretty damn good. And if you can get him, Acuna, if you can get Albies back on track, Austin Riley is probably their best offensive player right now. Again, if it's not, I'm sorry. I'm just getting back into it. And then you've got a three-headed monster potentially in your rotation. And that's including losing Max Fried to the Yankees, who's pitching out of his mind right now. Because if Sale can do it, Strider can do it, and Schwellenbach, and you get that offense rolling, that's going to be a very, very scary team.
Yeah, this team, though, it's very similar in the sense of another former World Series winner in the Texas Rangers, where it's like these teams had some amazing offenses, and now all of a sudden, neither of those teams seemingly want to hit.
Right.
Or hit like they used to. It's like...
Oh, we should probably talk about the Rangers at some point.
It's like, I don't know if it was just a flash in the pan and everybody just
had
the best season that they possibly could at the right time, but like Marcus Semien... Oh my God.
Rough.
I mean, the young guys on the Rangers. Again, I don't want to switch teams completely, but that's kind of how it is with the
Evan
Braves.
Carter. Evan Carter is on milk jugs, dude.
But the Braves. I mean,
but
paging Michael Harris, paging Sean Murphy, for God's sake.
But to use your Texas analogy, Corey Seager's on the DL again. When he comes back, is he their best player? Of course he's their best player. You know, he's one of my favorite players in baseball, and I'm going to rally for him to get into the Hall of Fame someday. But Corey Seager coming back off the DL does not inject life into the stadium and the team like Ronald Acuna does.
Right.
When Acuna comes back and hits a home run, dude, that place was probably banging so hard when he hit that home run. And that's what you want to see. You want the best players playing. And right now, the best players in baseball are Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, Ronald Acuna Jr., Bobby Witt, Tarek Skubal, and Paul Skeens. Like, is that our 6 right there? I mean, Mookie Betts. Like, I didn't even say Mookie Betts. So adding
don't
Acuna.
Forget the Crow in center field.
The PCA.
Yeah, baby.
And I just think baseball is in such a great shape. And when these young kids that are now vets and have won titles come back, you know, the game's very healthy. Look at the NBA right now. Ann Edwards, SGA, Hallie, and Jalen Brunson. Like, give me that in baseball. And we have that with Acuna coming back.
Yeah, no, it's good to see him back and just in time for a little mid-season push.
Let's do it. All right, we come back. Loaded second hour. Which teams flirting around 500 do we think can really figure it out and go on a run? Plus fair or foul. Loaded second hour. Don't go anywhere. Hot Corner, 1080 The Fan.
Window Nation.
From the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, news out of the NBA tonight. The Indiana Pacers taking a 3-1 series lead. They win Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals over the New York Knicks, 130-121 the final. Jalen Brunson, 31 points in the loss for the Knicks. Tyrese Halliburton leading all scorers with 32 points. Pascal Siakam with 30 as well. Benedict Mathurin, 20 points for the winning Pacers off the bench. Over on the ice, the Edmonton Oilers beating up on the Dallas Stars 4-1 the final in the Western Conference Finals Game 4 in the NHL. They take a 3-1 series lead over Dallas with that win. And breaking news out of college football, bad news for the Ducks. Oregon 5-star defensive end Richard Wesley decommitting from the program. He's from the class of 2027. And up at T-Mobile Park in baseball, the Seattle Mariners taking on the Washington Nationals. Bottom 6, they lead at 4-1 thanks to 2 home runs from Cal Raleigh and a 2-run bomb From Julio Rodriguez, more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schulte from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Heard missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
It's back. The 11th annual Fan Golf Classic at Langdon Farms Golf Club happens Tuesday, June 24th. Presented by your local Toyota dealers. Reserve your foursome now at 1080thefan.com.
Now you kiss and Chase Utley, and that's it.
Why are you pushing Chase Utley on me? It's starting to get weird.
This is the Hot Corner.
Okay, look, I have a plan, all right? And it involves you getting this letter to him when you get out there to kiss him. Now, I have given this to Major League Baseball, his lawyer, his manager, his mom, and he has not gotten back to me, which means he hasn't gotten it yet. So just...
Did you write a love letter to Chase Utley?
With Patrick Harris and Joe Fisher.
In a lot of ways, yes, I do love him, but that is not a love letter in the way that you're thinking of it, okay? There's nothing sexual or...
Okay, that sounds good.
Pal
I'm
around.
gonna read it.
Yeah, read it.
Dear Chase, they're stickers.
Yeah.
My God.
On the Odyssey app.
Dear Chase, I feel like I can call you Chase because you and me are so much alike. I would love to meet you someday. It would be great to have a catch. I know I can't throw as fast as you, but I think you would be impressed with my speed. Did you have a good relationship with your father? Me neither.
And 1080.
These are all things we can talk about and more. I am sure our relationship would be a real home run.
The Fan.
It's an A-bomb from A-Rod.
All right, welcome into the second hour of the Hot Corner. You're missing the first hour. You can download that podcast at 1080thefan.com or the Odyssey app or anywhere you get your podcasts, including places that rhyme with Julius Randle Sucksify. Joe and I were just having that convo in the break.
Excuse me.
Julius Randle. You know, I really liked him at Kentucky. I thought he was really good.
Yeah, well, he
he was really good.
He's had a solid playoffs, but he's showing his true colors in this series. You can depend on him for a game and be like, dude, you're awesome. I love you. Okay, this is why you're drafted.
All right.
Yeah, let's go.
Color me intrigued.
And then he disappears. And then he comes back for another great game. And then he disappears again. There was definitely this Julius Randle thing was not getting past the whole smell test with me, where over the first couple series of the playoffs, I was like, okay, you're playing well, but I'm keeping an eye on you.
Suspicious over here.
And then sure enough, this series happens. I mean, granted, they're playing a really good team.
I mean, Jalen Brunson's mine of that.
Yeah.
That I've been kind of like, throughout the playoffs, I'm like, you've been pretty
this.
good, but I don't know how sustainable this is. And sure enough, it's not really sustainable.
Well, again, dude, Aaron Nesmith is putting him through absolute hell. Like, Aaron Nesmith, obviously, from what he did in game one, nailing all those three-pointers, where it's just like, hey, man, you're pretty good. All right. Earned my respect there. But what he's been doing defensively against Brunson, taking him at full court, if you even just watch him off the ball, like when Brunson doesn't have the balls in hands, he is just, like I said, he's inside him.
It's Rick Carlisle, baby.
It's amazing to watch.
I love Rick Carlisle.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
The Pacers are just. If the Pacers Thunder matchup is what we get, I'm looking forward to it because
I think it'll be fun.
You got a team.
I'll take the Thunder all day, but I think it's going to be fun.
You got a team in Indiana that flies around, that plays good defense, just has energy up to wazoo, and then you have a team in the Thunder that it's just like good luck.
Maybe the deepest team we've ever seen outside of maybe the year Iggy won the MVP of the Warriors.
Dude,
that team was pretty deep.
I got to pull this up because someone I think it was on Reddit the other day.
I'm really glad that I'm right about Chet Holmgren. Let me tell you that. I'm really jacked that I was right about Chet Holmgren. Dude is an absolute monster.
Someone on Reddit the other day brought up the 2019 Raptors, the NBA champion Raptors.
Yeah, Kawhi.
And their roster and how insane it was. So, yeah, they had Kawhi, Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, Serge Ibaka, Danny Green,
Fred VanVleet,
Marc Gasol, Jonas Valanciunas, OG Anunoby, Norm Powell.
Yeah, baby.
Also, can't forget about Chris Boucher. Go Ducks.
Duh, go Ducks.
And then...
sounds gross coming out of my mouth.
And... Jeremy Lin.
Oh, the sanity.
But again, like they're like first 9-10 players, like
Wow.
Dude. Yeah, it was just like, all right.
Those guys are all on different teams and made the playoffs this year.
You might have needed a Kevin Durant torn Achilles and Klay Thompson shredding his knee to win that, but that's a damn good roster.
That's a damn good roster.
That's a really good team.
That is crazy that's how they win. By two of the greatest players of all time going down with catastrophic injuries.
One of the greatest players of all time.
Klay Thompson's a Hall of Famer. You count as one of the greatest players of all time.
One of the best shooters of all time.
If you go to the Hall of Fame, you count as one of the greatest players of all time.
I feel like the Basketball Hall of Fame is a lot more thought, and he'll just slip in because of Steph.
Is this a Dirt and Sprague poll question-esque question?
What? Is Klay Thompson a Hall of Famer? Dude, he's got 4 rings, and he's one of the greatest 3-and-D players of all time.
He'll be in.
How much did Steph carry him? How much did Klay and
How much did
Draymond?
Klay carry Steph, huh? Let me ask you that. Ain't
know.
no titles without Klay Thompson. Chump.
I don't know.
Chump.
I think a lot of that was because of Steph, Draymond, Iguodala.
Kevin Durant.
Durant was a big part.
Iguodala, baby.
Iggy. I love Iggy. I loved him his entire career. He's gonna go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm probably
Everybody
high
goes
as
to
a
the Hall of
kite
Fame.
right now. Klay Thompson should be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, without a doubt, dude. Without a doubt. When you have dynasties, you put in the 3 best players.
I just don't like his face.
Why?
It's very flat. If you look at a profile of him, he's got a very weird face.
You don't make any sense.
His bust is going to look weird. Do they do the Hall of Fame bust for the basketball?
I don't know. Is Michael's crying?
You just literally need to give it's just a flat piece of paper.
It's a 2D picture of Klay Thompson.
Yeah, that's all you need.
I drove by his house that he lived in college.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, yesterday.
This last weekend?
Yeah, yesterday.
Knock on the door. Klay, he was still here.
Klay, did you know that? Did you know that?
Can I walk around?
Oh, good times.
Did you party with Klay ever?
No comment.
Oh, don't want to throw him under the bus, huh?
Let's just say he's not a big drinker.
Is he Mormon?
No.
Oh.
He chooses other forms.
Oh.
No.
He likes to ride the slopes in Pullman.
Goes skiing a lot.
Huh?
No, not that either. No, he's no Iceman, that's for sure. All right, Joe, you brought this up, and I think this is a great little experiment we can dive into looking around the American League and the National League. We'll start in the American League, kind of looking around at teams that are kind of flirting at 500. Who could actually be good and make a run? This kind of all started...
Tickling the playoff taint, if you will.
Yeah, this all kind of started with Tampa railing off 6 wins in a row. They did lose today, but they are 7-3 in their last 10 games. And they sit right now at 500. So if we look at just the American League of teams flirting with 500, I give you the Tampa Bay Rays at 500, the Blue Jays at 26-27.
No.
The Red Sox at 27-29.
I'll take care of that one early. I'll take care of that one early. No on the Blue Jays.
And no on the Red Sox.
Yeah, no.
The Kansas City Royals are 29-27. They sit in 4th place.
Who ESPN,
in that loaded division.
Who ESPN said that right now they have the apparent front runner for Cy Young. Chris Bubik.
No.
Yeah, that's what the ESPN, they did an article today of the who are the award leaders so
How
far.
to prove to you I don't watch baseball.
Well,
ESPN's really good at that.
But also Chris Bubik has a 1.45 ERA.
I understand that. But do you believe that that's going to continue and Scooble's going to fall off?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure Scooble's like a plus 100 now after his game on Sunday.
Dude, Seth Lugo got Cy Young votes last year.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he did get.
He had a great year.
Yeah. But anyways.
Anyway, there's Kansas City Royals at 29-27. Let's see here. The Texas Rangers at 26-29, and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim 25-28. And for funsies, I'll throw the A's in at 23-31.
No, you don't need to. That's fine.
Those last two teams.
I was gonna say,
dude, my A's, man, what happened?
They both.
I heard
They're the
A's. I've been reading they've got a lot of issues in West Sacramento at that field.
They don't like playing.
Did you see
Mike
Shocker.
Kotze got tossed and he had to walk all the way to the left field because that's where
minor league
is.
manager
like,
style.
Can you imagine the whole time he's walking? This is complete and utter bull.
He's going back to the dugout after getting tossed, and there's a guy there like, there's no exit here.
Well, yeah,
you can't. There's literally no door to
like,
go
dude,
anywhere.
you can't be in the dugout. You got tossed. He's like, look, dude, please don't
Just
make me walk to
don't.
left field. The walk of shame.
Remember the it was like the boisterous manager freakouts. I think his name was like Philip Wellman, the guy that would like toss his hat, toss his jersey, and then basically crawl over home plate. I think he was a AAA manager, and he always had to walk off into the outfield. It's crazy how up in Hillsboro, it's a single A stadium. They have a clubhouse right behind the dugout, but apparently you can't do that AAA. I don't know.
Okay, my A's are toast. Who do you like in the American League of these teams, Joe?
Of the teams that are fighting around that 500 mark, no on the Athletics, no on the Angels. Hate to say it, but no on my Orioles.
No, sorry, bud.
Yeah, not even close to 500.
They are playing a little better.
They, at one point this weekend, had a worse record than the White Sox.
Ouch. Really?
Yeah.
While I was gone?
Yes. And then they won a couple games against the Cardinals.
Hey, the Blue Jays fired Charlie Montoyo and then came back to the playoffs with John Schneider. It's a possibility.
Dude, Schneider's going to get fired.
I hate to say that my Rangers are out, but until they decide that they want to actually score some runs.
Yeah, that offense is really puzzling. Jock Peterson, no bueno. Seager's hurt.
He just got injured, too.
Seager's hurt. Marcus Semien, paging Marcus Semien. Where are you, bro?
I think he has one of the worst there was some stat that I saw. He's one of the worst players in the league.
Playing every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
Adelise.
My guy Adelise, 211.
Oh.
Dude, I love
How many home runs does he have?
7.
Hey, that's not bad.
Yeah, well, 211 is bad. He was one of my favorite players forever.
But Evan Carter can't figure it out in the bigs. Yeah. Wyatt Langford's hurt, is he not?
I do not know. But I do know that the Rays are not hurt, and they're playing some really good baseball. And I know that they're the flavor of the week, but
I mean that's Kevin Cash.
I was gonna say classic Kevin Cash.
That's what they do.
They're pitching. While it's not amazing, they do not put unnecessary runners on base, and on offense, the guys they do get on base, they steal them, and that's what that's Kevin Cash baseball to a T. Is that we may not be mashing home runs, putting up 20 runs, 15 runs a game. But if we get our guys on base, we are going to snag second. We're going to try and get third, and we're going to try and get home. And we're going to do anything possible to make that happen.
And that's without Junior Caminero playing well, because he's been pretty rough.
Right.
He's as a young kid, he's been pretty rough this year.
No, dude,
Taj Bradley. Taj Bradley's been great.
Their best player offensively, Jonathan Arenado.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and he doesn't even play every day.
Zach Little, Taj Bradley each have ERAs at 4 or above. Ryan Pipiol has a 3.5. Shane Baz, almost a 5 ERA.
That's brutal. How are you winning games?
Former Beef though, Drew Rasmussen, 2.6 ERA. So
McClanahan back yet?
I don't believe so. No. But
they're just that team that you can never count them out.
They just take
because that's what they do. And the ball's gonna fly at Steinbrenner Field in Florida as it heats up.
Hey, you got that short right field wall, you know. By the way, McClanahan threw from 90 feet on Friday.
Ooh, I like that. I like to hear that. I like Shane McClanahan a lot. I think you're spot on with the Tampa Bay Rays. I think they're going to be really feisty. I don't believe in the Rangers. No on the Blue Jays. No on the Sox. No on everybody below that. Kansas City is 29-27. That division,
it's gonna be a juggernaut.
It's gonna be really rough, especially with the Twins playing a lot better now. It's gonna be pretty tough. You know, the Twins won 12 in a row and we're still in 4th place for a while.
Yeah, and I try to always remind myself and of anybody else that 6 of those wins came against the Orioles, and 2 of them were against the Brewers, who are not playing particularly great division-winning baseball again. So. So we'll see. We'll see if that passes the sniff test over time.
They're above 500 and decently, but you got a pulse on the Astros yet?
I do not. I just know that they have Hunter Brown, who is pitching extremely well. And I don't know, man. It might be one of those death by 1,000 cut things again.
God, I hate this. Why are we doing this again?
Dude, that's what they do, baby.
Jordan Alvarez isn't back yet, too, because he gets his hands all numb.
Yeah, it's they're weird, man. I think they might just ride their starting pitching, which has always been really good, as long as they've been this iteration of the Astros.
Yeah, this new wave.
But
boy, they'd be good if they had Kyle Tucker. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, right. It does seem like I don't know. They are hard to gauge because this is such a different version of them,
right?
That I can't say they're going to be there in the end and guarantee it.
Because it's Altuve. It's not even the same pitching. It's not even the same managing staff, coaching staff. It's Bregman and then a bunch of other dudes.
So it's very bizarre. But as far as
Pena is a World Series MVP.
As far as the team that is on the outside looking in, I would say it's going to be the Rays that maybe usurp I don't know, man, whether it's the Guardians or the Twins. Because I look at the Astros and like, dude, they're going to find a way somehow. Those dirty bastards.
I hate it so much.
Like, so if I'm gonna put my money on any of the teams outside of the wild card right now, I'm gonna say that the Rays sneak in there because Kevin Cash, man, he's he knows how to coach a team that doesn't have a lot of resources, and it's just plain scrappy baseball, man.
Yeah, it's not sexy to you, but it's sexy to me,
and it's sexy to wins.
Yeah,
that win column.
It's all about the W, baby.
Yeah.
I like KC to figure it out too. I still don't believe in the Twins. I won't believe in the Twins until they prove to me otherwise. And if they make the playoffs, they'll play the Yankees and they'll get smoked.
Well, Casey's the classic case of bad hitting, good pitching.
Yeah.
So
with top 5 player in the league. All right, let's wrap this up. Next segment, we'll switch over to the National League, which I think has a lot more scary possibilities. We'll do that next. Hot Corner, Today in the Fan.
It's back. Your local Toyota dealers present the 11th annual Fan Golf Classic at Langdon Farms Golf Club on Tuesday. This is the Hot Corner with Patrick Harris and Joe Fisher on the Odyssey app and 1080 The Fan.
As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run.
Now, what did I do wrong?
That's improbable, but not impossible.
Fair or Foul coming up here in about 15 minutes. Everybody's favorite. We do it every single Tuesday at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour. But carrying over from last little seggy, we get into the National League of teams hovering around 500 that you feel pretty good about. Now, what's going to be really, really tough in the National League before I go through these teams is that, like, I'm looking at wild card standings right now, and there are a lot of teams that are over 500 above the 500-ish teams. So it's like, that's a big log jam.
Say that again, sorry?
Yeah, maybe I didn't explain that.
My brain don't work so
maybe
good.
I didn't explain that. So San Francisco Giants right now are 4th in the wild card, and they're 31-24. So in 5th, you get to 500 teams. The Milwaukee Brewers are 500. The Cincinnati Reds are 500. The Arizona Diamondbacks are 500. The Atlanta Braves are 25-28. The next team we'll go ahead and say are out is the Washington Nationals at 24-29. But I don't think we believe in them yet. They need another year or so. Those kids aren't quite ready. Of all these teams, it's so fascinating too with these teams. Cincinnati, it's kind of like a Kevin Cash thing. I'm never going to count out Tito. Never. I'm never going to count out Tito. So we could see how that goes.
Until he meets a can of tobacco. Oh, Joe.
I think the Diamondbacks are too good to be this bad.
Yeah, especially like the way that like and I know one player does not a roster make, but the way that Corbin Carroll's playing this year, it's like, dude, like he was bad last year and you guys were decent. Like now he's playing amazing this year and you guys are barely scraping by. What the hell's going on?
Have you seen Perdomo? He's been absolutely fantastic.
I've not,
Eugenio Suarez, he's been absolutely fantastic.
He has. He's hitting dongs.
You got Corbin Burns on the bump that you're going to trust every 5 days.
Yeah, outside of him though, and he does not have a very Corbin Burns.
Zach Gallen is not having a consistent year. He's had some good starts in him, but he's had some rough starts in him. Brandon Pfaadt, we're like waiting for him to take that step, but that step just hasn't come yet. Former Hillsboro Hop, Brandon Pfaadt.
Yeah, it's they should be better. They should be better. They started off great, but I don't know. They've taken a step back here. I think that the team that is outside of the playoff race, I think can make a surge, and we talked about it the last segment of the 7 o'clock hour. Find out where you get your podcast. Is the Braves.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Three-headed monster in the rotation.
You get
top
a
5 player in baseball coming back.
MVP player in Acuna and a Cy Young-esque pitcher, maybe one day, if not at least an ace of your lineup in Spencer Strider. I mean, you literally just got 2 of the best players in their respective positions to come back onto your team. If that doesn't do it for you, I don't know what will.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Now, as far as
this is kind of a big, like June's going to be a really big month for Atlanta.
Now, as far as who they replace in the wild card race, I don't know what I need to see from the Giants. Well, right now, I mean, the Giants are, quote unquote, the odd team looking out. Right now, the Cardinals and them are tied for that last. I don't believe really in either of those guys, like teams rather.
I'm not sold on the Cardinals yet. I think they're building something. I think they're getting close to being to doing Cardinal things like in the past. But I just who are their 5 best players? You know, it's kind of like a team of figure it out sort of thing.
Well, Brendan Donovan is having a great year.
Yeah, and Sonny Gray's pitching well. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't believe in the Brewers. I don't know why. I never believe in the Brewers, and they always win that division.
Well, they are having they're having a down year. They are regressing back to the mean. I think that we were surprised at how well they played last year, and it's kind of showing itself now.
Well, my money's on Arizona and Atlanta, but here's the problem. You think the Mets are going to fall off?
No.
Do you think the Padres are going to fall off?
No.
That leaves one open spot.
Yep. Exactly, and that's
where... I mean,
where...
unless you feel the Phillies are going to fall off, which I don't.
No.
The Cubs are raking. They need pitching, but they are raking.
They're really good.
And the Dodgers are the Dodgers.
Yeah, and again, I think that is that kind of that process of elimination. It's like, all right, it leaves either the Cardinals or the Giants, and again, the Giants, I felt like it would happen a little bit sooner than this. I remember it was like the first or maybe it was like the second week of the MLB season. We were sitting here, and I was like, I don't believe in the Angels' hot start. I don't believe in the Giants' hot start. The Angels have proven me right. The Giants, it's taking a little bit longer than I anticipated.
That Paris kid got sent down for the Angels. Did you see that?
I didn't know.
Yeah, they sent him down because he's batting like 111
in
the month of May.
So yeah, the Cardinals, they have a good offense, but outside of Gray and Fetty, not really trusting their starting lineup. And I will say the Giants are playing really well. I mean, Logan Webb is amazing. Jung Ho Lee
is having an awesome season.
It seems like
told ya.
Robbie Ray decides that this is going to be a good year for him.
Yeah, I saw that on the text line. Is he just good every other year?
He just walks into spring training. He's like, you know what? I'm going to suck this year. Or you know what? I'm going to be lights out this year.
I'm going to be awesome this year. This year, I'm just going to have Tommy John.
Dude, he is one of the more perplexing pitchers of our generation where it's like, is he good?
Is Joe Flacco elite?
Yes, and yes. Like, I honestly want to look at his year-by-year baseball reference page because it is just like, I'm sure it's just like 5.8 ERA, 2.9 ERA, 6.7,
1.9.
It's just like, dude, what the hell?
Let's do that in the break. When we come back, it's everybody's favorite, fair or foul. But first, we'll throw it over to Schultze with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on the fan, some breaking news out of college football this evening, and it's bad news for the Ducks. Oregon 5-star defensive end recruit Richard Wesley decommitting from the program, the high school senior ranking among the top prospects in the 2027 class. On to the NBA, the Pacers making it a 3-1 series lead in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals, 130-121 the final. Jalen Brunson, 31 in the loss for the Knicks. Tyrese Halliburton leading all scorers with 32, followed by Pascal Siakam. He had 30 in the win. Over on the ice, the Edmonton Oilers beating up on the Dallas Stars in Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals in the NHL. 4-1 the final. Edmonton now leading that series 3-1. And in baseball, the Seattle Mariners hosting the Washington Nationals. It's Game 1 of a 3-game set up at T-Mobile Park. Going pretty well for the Mariners. 7-1 lead so far. 2 home runs from Cal Raleigh and 3 RBIs from Julio Rodriguez, including a 2-run bomb in the first inning. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schultze from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Hot Corner, now in its new time. Tuesdays at 7 after Isaac and Sue on Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan.
We're with Ken and Donnie from The Advocates.
Whether it's something big or a small injury, the first thing that insurance companies do are pretend to be really nice and then offer you a few pennies to get you to go away.
That's the diminished part, when they're just coming out really quick with
Is it fair or is it foul?
Fastball tapped at the plate. It'll trickle down the third baseline. The Mariners are going to let it roll.
A knowledge test to see how well they know the big leagues.
Lenny Randle gets down on his hands and knees and blows on it like a curler, and it goes foul.
And what our distinguished hosts think about the stories that popped up around the big leagues.
But he got down on his hands and knees and literally blew the ball across the foul line.
This is Fair or Foul on the Hot Corner on 1080 The Fan.
All right, this is everybody's favorite Fair or Foul. We do it at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour every single Tuesday. And let's let this bad boy breathe. Tried to break early so we could actually have some fun today.
By the way, Robbie Ray, for the most part, has kind of confirmed
that he's not very good.
No, this year
he
is.
Former Cy Young Award winner.
He is good this year, and it seems like kind of every other 2 seasons he decides he wants to be good. This year, dominant, 7-0, 2.56 ERA. Last year, season got cut short, 4.7 ERA. The year before that, his last year in Seattle. Did he have Tommy John or something like that?
He did.
So he barely pitched that year, 8.1. His
it went down like his second start of the year.
His first full season in Seattle, 3.71.
Pretty
his
good.
last season in Toronto with his Cy Young, 2.84.
His Tommy John season, he had 3.1 innings pitched, and then had Tommy John.
Okay, so it was just his first start. That's what it was.
An 8 ERA from that game.
His first season in Toronto, he went literally like 4 games, 4.79. Last season in Arizona, literally went like 7 starts, 7.84, 6.62. 3.93 in Arizona, 2.89, and then 4.90. So the dude is an absolute roller coaster ride, and the Giants are riding the high of it right now.
But hey, he's 7-0 right now with a 2.56 ERA.
Yeah.
We'll watch him. All right, without further ado, we turn it over to our fantastic producer, Schultz.
They got the better end of that trade, the Giants did, because
Sure
Mitch
did.
Haniger, what is he, sitting on his couch watching YouTube videos?
They sure did.
One less ball.
But I mean, you had to get rid of Robbie Ray, though. That was a salary dump.
But they literally got back basically a month of Major League production and a broken outfielder that ended up being released the next season. Like, it was a terrible trade. And at the time, I feel like it was just done with short-sightedness. And now, oh, look, long-term, it screwed you even worse.
Just, hey, when Robbie Ray has a 5.8 ERA next year, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Honestly, I think, dude, it's not just me, you guys. What is he making, like $23-25 million? I think there are 20 teams that would take that, even if it were an off year of Robbie Ray, because what he's producing for you this year for the Giants, that $20+ million salary is cheap. So, just saying. All right, guys. Let's see. What do I got here? Ooh, starting off with something we hit on last hour. Go get your podcast anywhere you get your 1080 The Fan podcast. Rhymes with Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It's actually those words. We were talking Detroit Tigers. They have the best record in MLB so far. Pretty shockingly, it's, led by great guys like Spencer Torkelson, Tariq Skubal.
My Tigers.
Your Tigers.
Yeah, congrats, you guys. Your Tigers. I know you're heavily invested in them, but people have said they're the best young team in baseball since their surge last season into the playoffs. But do you think they can keep that going to the end of this season? Fair or foul, the Detroit Tigers will finish the season with the best record in Major League Baseball.
Ooh, sexy.
Ooh. Chop that line up.
In Major League Baseball?
In all of Major League Baseball, because they got the best record right now by a game, so figured why the hell not? Everybody.
I'll go first. I'll say fair. I like it. I like this team a lot. I think we're watching the American League East fall apart. I think we're watching the American League West fall apart a little bit. That division is really, really difficult, sure. But I think the American League on a whole is kind of weak. Yeah, I'll take it. Give me the Tigers. I like the Tigers to have the best record in baseball at the end of the year. I don't necessarily like them in the World Series. I think if Carlos Rodon continues to pitch like this, the Yanks are going to be a tough out. And who knows? By the way, Logan Evans right now for the Mariners, it's in the top of the 8th, and he has 75 pitches.
We might see our 9th or 10th complete game of the season so far. It's a 7-1 lead. Danny's got to leave him in. The bullpen needs a break.
Oh, and Josh Bell goes deep.
Are you serious?
No.
Thank you. I was just like, are you like 10 seconds ahead of me? Like, what the hell?
I hope this happens again, because remember the Hoppy thing from a couple weeks ago?
I hate
Damn it!
Now I'm really hoping that Josh Bell just goes yard here. He got walked. Lame.
I will say fair. Yeah, I like it.
Well, I am curious. Curiouser and curiouser I become.
Curious and curious.
How much of the Central Division they have played so far? Just taking a quick look. They played the Guardians once. They played Kansas City once. The Twins once. So they played each divisional opponent once. Because I just wonder, as the season goes on and they have to face those teams a little bit more, if there's going to be a couple more losses.
Let's see here.
What the toughest remaining schedule looks like.
Got their schedule up. They are about to go to Kansas City.
All right, I'm going to Tankathon here. They're going to tell me the toughest remaining schedule in baseball.
Then in June, they have the White Sox. They host the Cubs at the Orioles. Host the Reds, Pirates, Rays, A's, Twins. That's the month of June.
So I was going to say that the Cubs will usurp them and the rest of baseball with the best record in the MLB by season's end.
Oh, dude, July 29th, they're hosting the Diamondbacks. It's Grateful Dead night.
Oh, find your way down there, man.
To Detroit, dude, I hate the Tigers, man. I can't go there.
With some caps, man.
Grilled cheese sandwiches, maybe.
Detroit.
Watch your mouth with that stuff. That's
Our-
my Cubs.
our
Cubs.
Cubs have the 5th remaining schedules. I am going to say that the Cubs usurp Detroit, and they end up becoming the
They'll
team
do
with the
it?
best record in baseball.
They will do it?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Cubs. I'm flying the W, baby.
Dude, I love the Cubs.
I love it.
Fight like a crow.
I'm fighting like an Armstrong.
Fight milk.
All right, guys, let's get into another one. In the last couple of weeks, obviously, seen a couple of managers go. Rockies manager Bud Black gone. Derek Shelton of the Pirates
And that was
gone.
it. No one else.
Sorry. And now Brandon Hyde for the Baltimore Orioles. Yes, there are probably a couple more to go, but a lot of the discussions around, especially the lesser teams like the Rockies or maybe the White Sox, who have a brand new manager in Will Venable, but don't really know what the hell to do elsewhere in their organization, talking about the amount of money that they spend, not really on players, because we've all talked about a salary cap or a salary floor in every sport, especially baseball, but we haven't gotten anywhere. But it's interesting to see the difference in money that teams spend on development, on even like a nutritionist, for instance. You know, if you've got a smaller scouting department, say like the Rockies do, or you only have one Moneyball type analyst like the Rockies do, you're just not up to par like other teams. I've heard, and I made this point a couple weeks ago on the show, that when you go to the Rockies, they just kind of tell you, hey, get out on the field and play, kid. Whereas opposed to you go basically any other organization in Major League Baseball, the Mariners, the Yankees, the Dodgers, they will present you with data. They'll present you with info, and they have the tools to try to help you get better as a player. So guys, fair or foul, are we at the point that MLB needs to mandate a minimum amount of money all teams must spend on things like trading, scouting, coaches, and player development? Fair or foul?
I'll go first on this. I don't think so. I think you got to kind of let teams operate the way they want to operate. You know, if Tampa wants, look, Tampa doesn't spend a lot of money, but they invest a ton in analytics. That's the route they want to go. Snitker in Atlanta, he ain't doing analytics, and I think you run a dangerous path of kind of telling teams how to operate. If you tell teams how to operate, you don't get a Billy Beane. You don't get a Theo Epstein. You don't get a Dave Dombrowski. You don't get a Brian Cashman. And I think it's a little dangerous to kind of dictate how to operate. Now, I see your point, though. I do want there to be a way where teams are putting in the same kind of effort as everybody. I just think how, if it's nutritionists versus analytics, I think it's a little tough to force teams to go that route if they don't want to. And crappy organizations going to be crappy organizations.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Patrick on this and say foul. There definitely should be a salary cap minimum, as we have talked about before on this show.
I want the floor desperately.
Me. Yeah, I mean, as far as they need to spend the minimum this amount. But yeah, as far as what they're putting their resources into and what parts of their franchise, that's a little bit tougher to gauge. And I don't want to be like full-blown conspiracy theorist, but like them cooking the books and saying, oh yeah, we're spending this much on this. Yeah, don't you worry. And MLB's like, all right, check, Yeah, I say foul on this, that teams, how they want to operate, spend their money on to make their teams better, that's on them. But the one thing they should as hell spend a certain minimum amount of money on is the players.
Yeah, you can't have a $30 million payroll.
I mean, to that point, the Marlins, for instance, signed at the time Giancarlo Stanton to that massive deal that basically everybody behind the scenes knew they had no intention of fully paying out on.
Right.
There was another one. I think the Rockies signed, Nolan Arenado at the time to a big deal. They ended up trading him to the Cardinals because it was just not. It was just this belief that they wanted to give their fans that they were spending this money when they did not want to. So that's a good point, too. All right, guys, next one up, fair or foul? Kyle Schwarber in the news. Last week, hitting his 300th career home run. And got me thinking, he is one of the most I would say, successful home run hitters in the last decade in Major League Baseball. Walks a lot, hits a lot of home runs, strikes out as well. That three true outcome hitter in Major League Baseball that we all love. But he's actually upped his average the last couple of seasons. 248 last year with 38 bombs and 257 this year with 18 bombs so far. And of course, his 300th home run, up to 302 career, guys. At age 32, fair or foul, Kyle Schwarber will hit 500 career home runs.
I'm going to say foul. I feel like that we're going to start seeing some breaking down here soon. But he does kind of feel like this generation's Adam Dunn in a sense.
And Adam Dunn's got over 400 home runs.
Or bite my tongue, Jim Thome.
Oh, Jim Thome has 600 home runs, dude.
Yeah,
You
Jim
watch your
Thome's
mouth. You watch your
It's a
mouth, that
freaking
disgusting
legend.
garbage coming out of it.
Yeah,
Jim Thome is a first ballot bona fide Hall of Famer.
True or false? Kyle Schwarber, best player from that Cubs World Series team.
Fair.
It's kind of looking like it. At
Everybody
this point.
else has dropped off the planet, unless you count the comeback player of the century in Javi Baez.
Yeah, actually.
But yes,
that's also fair.
But yes, I think you are right. Kyle Schwarber is the best player from that team.
Not to hijack fair or foul here, but I mean, fair foul.
I am optimistic on this. I'm going to say fair. I do think he will get to 500 home runs. He hits 40 every year. So can he do that 5 more times? Maybe. At 32? Maybe. You know, he DHs. He doesn't play in the outfield. The question is Kyle Schwarber always seems like a player who's really good, but nobody really wants him. You know what I mean? Helps the Cubs win a World Series, then goes to the Nationals, then goes to the Red Sox, then goes to the Phillies, where he seems to have found a home. But I think he's a free agent at the end of the year. So that's the strangest thing. The second fascinating part to this is if Kyle Schwarber hits 500 home runs, is Joe Flacco elite?
Shut up.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Get out of here.
Does he go into the Hall of Fame because he broke 500? Because when I watch Kyle Schwarber, I say that is a very good home run hitter, but never do I think he's a Hall of Famer.
Is Klay Thompson a Hall of Famer?
He is, dude. He's got 4 rings, bro. He's got 4 rings, one of the best 3-and-D to ever do it.
We'll find out.
Stop.
I mean,
but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 500 gets you in, but Kyle Schwarber never strikes me as a Hall of Fame player.
I don't know, dude. I feel like he's. I just like I'm picturing myself in what is it, 7, 8 years from now, and I just can't. I can't put the vision in my head. That's Kyle Schwarber's 500th home run. It just doesn't seem like that's a plausible thing that's gonna happen.
Yeah, you can almost kind of hear stuff in your head.
Yeah, you try again. You just try and play the image, and it's just not happening.
Yeah, Spencer Strider has thrown the 29th perfect game. You're like, oh, I can hear that.
He would have to remain
I can hear that.
exceedingly healthy for this to happen.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like he's been. I mean, this is what his 9th, 10th year in the
10th
bigs?
or 11th,
yeah,
something like that. So you're saying that he's going to give me 7 to 8 more seasons of at least 30 home runs?
I'm trying to be optimistic and have him get 500 because I want to see if he doesn't make the Hall of Fame.
I mean, I thought that was the 500's a clear.
Dude,
indicator.
if he continues at this pace and gets 500,
That's the number, man.
I would probably put him in. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm not in yet. No, not at all.
Wow. Okay.
Not at all.
See, I don't know. It could be one of those things that, I mean,
is he like a Craig Biggio? Is he Tim Rock Reigns gets in on his 10th ballot?
I got to stop myself because I think that's one of those where it's like, all right, congrats on hitting 500 home runs, dude. That's what you're going to be known for.
That's what you're known for.
Like, you are Adam Dunn at that point. Like,
you're better.
You were just.
I'd rather have Kyle Schwarber than Adam Dunn.
I don't know, dude.
Really?
I mean, I feel like Adam Dunn, by the time that Kyle
Schwarber's
Schwarber's
a
career is
leadoff
over,
hitter who bats 200.
by the time that Kyle Schwarber's career is done, I bet you that Adam Dunn will have a better resume than Kyle Schwarber.
All right. Interesting.
We'll have to talk about this in 8 years.
We'll see you in 8 years, Joey.
Oh, man. Good stuff, guys. All right, final fair or foul really quickly. Got to do with Julio Rodriguez actually having, I would say, one of the best early parts of the season ever in his career. Over the last...
He's batting 280?
No, he's batting 240 right now, but it's a hell of a lot better than 210. Over the last month or so, he's batting 280, but he's got 7 home runs.
You gotta love optimistic fans.
In that span. Well, I'm not trying to be optimistic. I'm literally looking at his stats from earlier years, and April, May just look like ass for him. Now, actually looking like he knows what he's doing early parts in the season. So, guys, Julio, of course, has kind of been the main part of the Mariners' batting lineup. Cal Raleigh maybe inserting himself in there in the last year or two, but the team kind of goes as Julio's gone. So, by the way, they are up 7-1 right now. He has hit a 2-run bomb tonight. Cal Raleigh with 2 as well. So, fair or foul, guys, Julio Rodriguez will set a career high 4 home runs this season. He only hit 32. That is the most in his career. I say only because this is a guy that people expect to hit 40 a few times. He's in that Bobby Witt realm. He's in that young superstar realm. I'm sorry, you don't think he is, Joe, but a lot of national prognosticators think he's that young superstar that's supposed to hit those kind of numbers. So fair or foul, guys, he will set a new career high in home runs this season, more than 32.
All right. I will preface this by saying he is still very, very young. He's
very young.
24 years old, so yes.
Extremely athletic. Boy, I love watching him play in center field.
He is like the Shaden Sharp of the Seattle Mariners.
Kind of is.
Ooh,
kind
I
of
love
is.
that comparison.
The talent is there.
Yeah.
You can see it.
And everybody's just kind of
leaps off the page.
Yeah, it has these moments where I'm like, dude, he's
great example.
He is the future of this team. And then you're just kind of like,
damn it.
Right? Right? He's the future. Like, and yes, well, very true. It's like, oh yeah, he's having a good start in terms of Julio Rodriguez starts. And I'm sorry, I was just getting so worked up over Jordan talking about him that I completely forgot the fair or foul.
He will have more home runs this season than any other season.
Career high
32.
He had 32.
So 33 or not, fair or foul.
And he's got 9 so far, and we're a fifth or a third through the season.
10 tonight. Yeah.
So 10. So he's on pace for about 30 home runs.
About 30 home runs.
I'm going to say fair because he turns it on late. That's how he plays, is that, once he gets past All-Star break, makes adjustments, does something different. So at this point, I will say fair because this is the best start of any year that he's had, and he turns it on late. So yes, I will say fair.
I will also say fair. However, there are a couple things. He better do it this year, because if he doesn't do it this year, the questions are going to start being asked. And I don't know how he's going to deal with that kind of pressure, because came out with a bang, got his bag, and Schulte, I love your optimism, but 240 ain't going to cut it for me. I think there's a very, very good chance that Julio Rodriguez is an A-plus defender and is a 275, 30 home run guy. I think there's a very realistic chance that that's the case.
That ain't bad. That was...
That ain't bad. That's Torrey Hunter.
That's Carlos Beltran.
That's Carlos Beltran. That's Torrey Hunter.
Yeah.
Both those guys are fringe Hall of Famers.
I'm trying to pull up a certain player's career stat line before I say it out loud because I think...
You're about to offend somebody.
Well, you pulling out like an Andrew Jones comparison or some bullshit like that?
Andrew Jones was good.
I think
he even get a lot of home runs.
I mean, I think it's going to make you even more mad. But honestly, when I'm looking at this career line,
oh god,
I don't think you're going to be upset with a Derek Lee-esque career
for a center fielder.
Yeah, I mean, hell, Derek Lee, he had 331 home runs.
Derek Lee?
Sorry,
I spaced off there for a moment. Derek Lee. You're comparing Julio Rodriguez to Derek Lee. Derek Lee won a World Series.
He did.
Just saying.
Won 0 gold gloves, though.
That's not true. He won 3.
He won
3 gold gloves?
So it says right here on his
first
baseball reference.
I mean, he's a tall dude.
Well, that's true.
3 gold gloves, Silver Slugger, batting titles.
2003. Marlins.
I mean...
At
this point, if you're Julio, you upset with that?
Derek Lee got paid too.
Now I have
when he went to Chicago.
I have to go to Julio's baseball reference page to see what his his
comparable players.
Yes, what he's tracking.
Oh yeah. What his
those.
reference? I want to know what reference says.
Yeah. All right. Screw
Raul Ibanez.
You literally almost made me say the F word. You literally. Oh my god! I almost said it.
Similar batters through the age of 23. Jack Clark, Jeff Francoeur.
Oh, dude, Francoeur was one of the largest prospects in the history of Major League Baseball.
So this list,
he was a pretty good player.
Del Ennis, Greg Lazinski.
Through the age of 23, this list is pretty hard to compare to.
Jeff Burrows. Wait, hold on, I'm getting there. Michael Harris II. But at number 7, Barry effing Bonds.
Barry effing Bonds?
What about in the next category? What about players he's tracking?
Just
like?
similar batters right now. Luis Robert Jr.
Oh, God, heaven help us all.
Rocco Baldelli.
Oh,
Jim Greengrass, do it for you.
Down goes Anderson! Down goes Anderson!
Oh, Joe, these are some scary truths you're dropping here.
I don't even see Derek Lee anywhere on this list.
I don't think I'm ever going to ask a question about Julio again, guys. Holy yes.
I love, for the record, I love Julio.
Ditto.
My wife yesterday wore I have a T-jersey. I have a jersey from Julio Rodriguez.
Nice. Teal or blue?
Blue.
All right.
See-through.
Look at those nipples.
Makes my nipple piercings pop.
Hell yes.
Listen, I think Julio is a charming young fella. I think he's nice.
I think he's super fun to watch play baseball.
Yeah, it's just...
especially if you sit in the outfield.
Yeah, it's just, be better.
Yeah, be better.
That's
You got to
all
be
I
better at your job, bud.
Be a little
Because you
better.
kind of suck.
Just be a little
Just
better.
be a little better.
Yeah.
275. All right, that's Fair or Foul. We do it every single Tuesday at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour. When we come back, we'll wrap up shop. Hot Corner today, the Fan.
Thanks for making 1080 The Fan. Harris and Joe Fisher on the Odyssey app and 1080 The Fan.
That's not good, Bob.
Well, it's a good war.
I mean, it's a good war, but that OPS is not good.
Yeah. Me and Patrick are still having...
We're kind of breaking down Julio Rodriguez here, and
yeah.
Jordan, you might want to take your headphones off.
I mean, the war it's deceptively good for him, in my opinion.
It's got to be the defense.
It's all the defense. That's
yeah.
what war is, at least.
I just said to Joe in the break, I said, how come he doesn't steal bases? He should steal bases. Like, he's fast, he's athletic. Oh, right. You have to get on base to steal bases.
Yeah. How many let's do a over under. How many walks on the year does Julio Rodriguez have?
Over 6.
I do not want Jordan to answer this.
6.
If he had 6,
bro, that homeboy ain't seen a slider he ain't swinging and missing at.
If he had
down
6,
and outside, he's swinging.
He has 19.
Ooh, hey, that's kind of sexy.
I
mean, everything is sexy compared to 6.
He had 38 last year. Over 143 games, he only drew 38 walks.
Evans is not going the distance. They're pulling him. after 8.
He had 47 over 155 in 2023.
Look, he can put it together, and I hope he does. I really do. I love him. I think he's fantastic. He's great for the game. I just don't know.
Great cereal.
I just don't know if he's good for the game, or I don't know if he's good enough.
He's going to be good enough. And as someone put in this thread on Reddit that I was saying, he's going to give you a 265, 25 home runs, and 85 RBIs. And in the terms of Seattle, where all offense goes to die, that's actually pretty good numbers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
all right, that'll do it for us. I am out next week. I'll be in Las Vegas celebrating the birthday, so it's just you guys. You figure it out.
How about that? Bottle service?
Bottle service, baby. Me and the wife will be at the Venetian, the new tower. I will not miss any of you.
Well, I don't blame you.
So that'll do it for us. Boys will be back next week. For Joe Fisher, Schultze on the ones and twos, I'm Patrick Harris. Go do something I would do.